Hey there everyone, this is Carrie with Any Day Blessings, and today I am showing you how we do language arts. Now this isn't all of language arts, this isn't spelling and reading and literature, but this is going to be grammar, composition or writing, and handwriting. So you'll see some different things here. These are not the resources that I showed you in my homeschool curriculum picks video. This is the only subject area that we changed from that video that I filmed a couple months ago. You can scroll down on my channel and find that. But this is actually, the language lessons is the only thing that stayed the same. Everything else has changed. And I am so much happier with this setup. This totally fits my son better. And I just didn't learn about these things until after I filmed that video and picked everything else. So I'm thankful to have found this before we started, because it's easier to just kind of switch before you get started than to switch afterwards. So I'm going to pull these away, and I'm just going to walk you through how we plan to use all these resources and whatnot. I'm not really going to give in-depth flip-throughs or thoughts about the curriculum. I have done an extensive video on this one. It's like 20 or 30 minutes long. It's actually gotten great feedback, great views, so please check that out if you have not yet. It really, I think, helps if you're on the fence about whether or not to purchase this. This is Language Lessons for Living Education from Master Books. This is our main curriculum for grammar. This is actually a 36-week course, 5-day-a-week course. Okay, you can see 36 weeks here, but we are not using it in its entirety. We are doing, if you look back here, I'll bring this up a little bit here. Oh, sorry about the sunshine. Oh goodness, maybe I won't bring it up here. Okay, so this is the little summary of the week. Day 1 has a special feature. Day 2 and 3 are grammar and punctuation topics. And day 4 is that Bible reading and picture drawing, copywork section, and then spelling is on day 5. Sorry, the sun just came out and is now making some havoc here. All right, so the way we're going to use this is we're going to start off the year just starting right at lesson 1, and we're going to do exercises 1, 2, and 3 for each lesson. So here's lesson 1. We're going to do exercise 1, exercise 2, and exercise 3 during language arts time. Now we are going to use exercise 4, but we're not going to do it here on the paper. What we're going to do is, my son has a Bible copywork notebook that he's been copying his verses for Bible Club at church, and we're just going to have him start to copy the picture from the Bible reader and then copy the caption there in his notebook. So we're not going to do it here in this book here. We're going to keep all of our Bible kind of journaling together in his Bible notebook. And we will actually do this on Friday mornings. So that will be our Bible time together on Friday mornings. My son will read from the reader and do his journaling in his Bible journal. We do not plan to use the exercise 5 in any of the lessons. We have a completely separate spelling program that works wonderfully, and spelling and math are two things I do not mess with. If it's working, I keep it. So this is a perfectly appropriate and adequate option. I think it offers a lot of variety, and I think it is really adaptable to many different learning styles. And had we started this from the get-go, I don't see any reason we wouldn't be continuing with it. But again, spelling and math are working, so we're not changing those. So we will use exercise 1 through 3 in each lesson. That gives us 180 lessons or activities to do. And doing language arts each day, we're going to need more than that to fill up our school year. So once we finish all of the lessons in here, we're going to move over to Editor-in-Chief level beginning 2. This I actually won from a giveaway on Mayflower Homeschool's channel. She has a wonderful homeschool channel. Be sure to check her out. And she was sharing this and decided to give away a copy to a viewer, and I won it. And it's really a blessing, because I was actually looking at this. This was on my short list of things to get once we finish language lessons. So the timing was absolutely perfect, and I was thrilled to win it. I'm just going to show you real quick. I will do a separate, fuller review or flip through of this when we kind of go through it. But for right now, I'll just let you know what it's going to look like in our home. So once we finish language lessons for our living education, this will be what we do in language arts time. We will read through this. There's a little lesson with each, or some little bit of teaching material with each lesson. I believe, how many lessons are there? Let's see. There are 18 lessons, okay? Here is some teaching material. There are 6 exercises with each lesson. So there's 6, and then we move on to lesson 2. So if you did 1 exercise a day, this would not quite fill up an entire school year. But we don't need to fill up, a whole school year with this, because we're starting off the year with language lessons for a living education, and we'll have 108 days with that. So what I'm going to do with this one, this is actually meant for grades 3 and 4, and my son will be in 3rd grade this fall. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with lesson 1 and do exercises 1, 2, and 3, 1 per day. Then I'm going to move on to lesson 2 and do this review material, and then exercises 7, 8, and 9, 1 per day. And then move on to lesson 3 and so on. So I'm going to do 3 of the exercises per lesson in this book. And I might not get to do all of them. I might towards the end have to only do 2 lessons or 2 activities per lesson if I want to get through all the lessons in 3rd grade, but we'll kind of adjust that timing as we go. But that will allow me to use this book for both 3rd and 4th grade as a really good kind of end. We're rounding out the year, ending the year. Let's just go back and review and just kind of have a smooth sailing end to our year in grammar, because I'm really not looking for any heavy approach to grammar right now in elementary. I think this will be a great way to just review all the concepts we learned in language lessons, but really minimize the writing and the lesson time. So I think it's going to be a great fit for us to finish up with after we finish our main grammar curriculum. Then for handwriting, I have changed things up a bit. We are still going to use the Memoria Press cursive practice sheets, but the more I thought about it, I just was like, it really doesn't teach my son how to make the strokes. So I saw this, I think this was on Mama Shmoo's reviews or Mayflower Homeschool, one of the two. One of those 2 ladies, I watch them both all the time, so I don't know which one it was, but one of them was using this. I got this on Amazon at her recommendation, and I like the way that they teach the strokes. There's a little snail here, and it says follow the snail trail by connecting the dots. So they're connecting the dots. There's no little arrows showing them, what direction to go, because sometimes those arrows get bunched up and it's like, where do I go? And I can't even tell, and I know how to write in cursive, and I can't tell where they're trying to get you to go with your pencil. So this is in dot to dot. So they just start here at 1 and follow the dots all the way around to make the cursive letter. And they do this with a marker or highlighter marker or a light colored marker at first, and then coming down here, they're tracing inside these letters here. Okay, they're kind of the outline, or not the outline, let me see if I can show you the not bubble letters. Oh, I'm so sorry. The sunshine is creating havoc here. So you see how they're like little what is that called? Well, you can write inside the letters. Okay, then down here, they're just writing their own letters. Okay, so I like this better. I like the dot to dot, and so I decided to switch it up and get this. Start with this instead, and then once we're done with this book, we'll move over to the practice pages that I purchased from Memoria Press. And then finally, probably something I'm most excited about is I finally found a writing program that I can get behind and fully be excited about. I did learn about IEW at the beginning, but I saw the price tag for the student writing intensive and was totally blown away. And so I didn't look at it again because I thought, no matter how wonderful it is, I can't afford it. So I'm not going to look at it anymore. And I'm so glad I saw this on another mom's channel, and I decided to look at it again on their website. And the more I looked, the more I said, okay, this is perfect for my son. I've got to find a way to make this work financially for us. So I will do a separate video, because that could be a whole nother thing if you'd like it, on how we're doing a frugal approach to IEW that really isn't sacrificing any of the content, but it has really allowed us to get the material for a fraction of the cost. And I'm super, super, super thankful. So we are going to do all things fun and fascinating this year. This, if you're not familiar, like I said, I will do a full walkthrough of this if you want, okay? Just let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see this. But the basic concept with this, and why I love it, is it starts with a passage. And your child will learn to embellish and improve and add elements of writing and style to an existing passage. And my son's biggest thing, his biggest problem, is coming up with what to write, what to say. He has no problem if, you know, we're doing a Mad Lib, or we're doing a retelling of a story. He has no problem adding embellishments and adjectives and changing up different plot elements and adding to the story. He has no trouble with that, because he's starting from something. And this was the first curriculum I saw that did that. Now, there could be others. I certainly don't claim to know all that's out there, because there's so much. But this was the first that I saw that did that, where they start with something and they just pull out grammar concepts. They pull out writing concepts from something that's existing, and then just have the child learn to make small adjustments. And this particular text, All Things Fun and Fascinating, the topics that they're writing about are like perfect for little boys. I'm telling you, they're talking about space and bugs and snakes and dirt, all sorts of fun things, rocks. I mean, and maybe lots of little girls would like that too, but I'll tell you, my son, let me see if I can just go to that one page where it shows you. I love this. The Stinking Giant. And my son, he's going to see the title of that and he's going to think, oh my goodness, this is so for me. The Ants and Grasshoppers, Pecos Bill, Honeybee Hives, Army Ants, the Fishing Trip. So all of these sorts of topics that they get to write about and learn. My son's going to love it. So again, I will do a more thorough review and walkthrough and how we plan to actually use this. We are going to do probably several weeks of grammar, like 2 or 3 weeks of grammar, and that with the language lessons book, and then we'll take a break and we'll do a week or 2 of this. So we're going to alternate weeks. We're not going to do these at the same time. We're going to do several weeks of language lessons for living education, then we'll do several weeks of this. So we're gonna go back and forth with that a little bit. We may not finish this book this year. This may carry over to next year, but that's okay, because we'll just start, with the next course when we finish this. But that's how we plan to do composition this year. I'm so thankful to have found that, and bring everything back in here one more time. This is what we're doing. This is our plan for language arts. And I believe, if the numbers work out, I believe that what I have planned here will be a full 36 weeks. But of course, I will update you mid-year around Christmas time to kind of let you know how we're tracking and how things are working out. But that's our plan for now. Let me know below if you've used any of these resources, how you've done it in your home, what you thought about them, and maybe what tips and tricks you could offer to me and to anyone else watching. Take care. Have a blessed day.